Alright, in tonight's first game, it is RVG, otherwise known as Revenge, versus MM, the Moon Men. Tonight they're battling for Kuwait right here. It is a Revenge-held planet. It is a space battle. Can't remember exactly what that means, but hopefully it will be good. Just waiting for both teams to ready up so that we can get this game started. And here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Has the match started yet?
Match just started.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to ping everybody.
You forgot a couple of things.
For the
MM is starting out by going to the factory side, sending Papusaman and the two E5s to mid. RVG also having an E5 on mid with a Vickers supporting in the rear. The other players going to the factories as well. They are starting to brawl in the factory. Revenge getting one shot into Zyko, not really bleeding him hard. Mothra, on the other hand, taking a significantly larger amount of damage over on the B area. MM is trying to gain control of the middle area. Nice shot into Cole from Bubba Vernon, who is in a fairly exposed position, only really exposed to Cole at the moment because RVG has given up control of middle. Cole is bleeding very hard while the Vickers Light is flanking around to support the factory side, where RVG is now starting to push pretty heavily into MM's defensive line of the 113 and double IS-4. Cole got put down to a one-shot at 112 HP. Barely still alive. Unfortunately, Nico goes down, leaving Steel and Zyko by themselves, surrounded by 6 players, all wanting to shoot them. Mothra takes fairly heavy amounts of damage trying to get in and share some HP with Steel. It backfired and he was the one that got tunneled down first. Steel is now surrounded by 5 players, all shooting him. RVG is now up by 3,000 hit points. It's not looking good for MM. They're going to have to pull it in pretty clutch again. Trying to resist the bleeding too heavily. It's not looking good. Beastly Flash is a one-shot as well. He needs to be taken out if MM wants to increase their chances of winning this. It is looking like RVG is going to cinch this first win. Bubba Vernon now getting surrounded by 5 different players. Swifty and Papusaman trying to get some shots in, but to no avail. Looks like first match is going to RVG. They played it very well, managed to focus fire and have a very coordinated push, taking out the weak defense of the lineup from MM. Unless Papusaman can somehow pull a Sheridan clutch, which I highly doubt at this point, especially since he just bounced his rocket into the T-22 medium. Vickers got a nice HE high roll into him, and the T-22 is most likely going to finish. Never mind, IS-4 got him. Very well played from RVG. MM needs to work on their defensive hold for this map.
Zella, kick somebody out so I can join the room. Okay. So RVG won the first match. Interesting.
Yes, which was quite surprising to me. I thought MM would have had it in the bag, but they are playing what they did against Rival last night and starting to throw early, which is not exactly what they want to be doing right now. I'm surprised the Sith Empire isn't pulling out a Death Star to totally obliterate RVG.
Yeah. That might work, 7
Well,
Death Stars.
the last time in a QT we played RVG, Bub and I were both in Death Stars, and I full health Amaract and IS-4 on their team. We still lost the game somehow, but
Beautiful.
it felt really good to get a 2800 ammo rack. It's a bigger meme than this throw. Let's see if they can't get their shit together and win. Otherwise, because RVG has the defensive thing, correct? So they only have to win 2, where MM has to win 3, correct?
That is correct.
So MM already putting themselves at a severe disadvantage. Looks like they're changing up their tactics this time. They are going to the town side, sending their Sheridan and E5s to middle with some defensive support from the IS-4s, while Bubba and Zyko go around into town. Babusa Man missing his rocket and taking a shot from the Vickers Light. Rather unfortunate for him. RVG, on the other hand, is going to the factory yet again, setting up defensive positions with their 268s, trying to look towards middle. MM can get control of the middle, though. It will give them a nice little advantage. MM is kind of spread out, having most of their tanks concentrated around the middle, but sending spotting tanks like Zyko to the far right and Bubba supporting the rear. RVG has 3 tanks coming around the flank. They will be most likely surprising Bubba and the IS-4s. Bubba just got spotted. He needs to move forward before he bleeds. MM is turning around some of the resources to counter the flank. Bubba getting some nice bleeding shots into these IS-4s, same with Nico and Babusa Man. Rith taking some serious damage, he's already down to half health. In a pretty poor position to hold at the moment. MM is now collapsing on the 2 IS-4s that are now very isolated from the rest of their team. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend trying to support with minimal success. Looks like the focus fire is turning to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, who pops their defensive booster. Try and survive a little bit longer while MM pushes in, leaving I Love Comanche to kind of farm off the rear. Nico going down to a one-shot. Comanche most likely to finish if he gets his reload off. Yes, there they go. Hit points are fairly even at this point. Not a huge difference. The mouse finally coming into play, pushing down after Swifty, messing up his HE onto him. Comanche still alive, not for much longer as Swifty gets the finish. The Vickers Light very low as well and exposed, needing to be finished off. And he does get finished off, leaving RVG with only 3 tanks to the 6 of MM. The mouse is surrounded by 4 while Mothra fights for his life, almost by himself. Babusa Man and Steel Hunter are nearby to help him out, taking out the 268. They might be able to save Mothra if Mothra does manage to get a bounce from Cole. Cole unable to hit Mothra, going to get surrounded and finished off. Well, the mouse is trying to finish off Swifty. Stops looking at Swifty or Babusa Man, only staring down Bubba Vernon, which is a rather interesting strategy. He does manage to take out Babusa Man and is now just getting rushed by the last 5 tanks. MM got their crap together this time and pulled out the win 5-0. And to reiterate, RVG only has to win one more to win, while MM has to win 2 more to win. That is due to the Fortress buff, is that right, Shoto?
No, this is actually due to RVG's faction bonus called
Oh,
Heavy
it's
Shielding, which in space battles they only need to win 2 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5.
I see. There is a bunker bonus that does do pretty much the same thing, though, isn't there? If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
everyone has access to buy a bonus that lets them do the same thing for land battles. I'm taking care of some stuff. So, Band, how have you been?
Pretty good. Not much happened today, just, normal work stuff.
Cool. Wish I had a job. I need one.
Yes. Just go work at like a grocery store where you're constantly being exposed. Easy mode.
Oh yeah, you're right. I could
Concentrated
do
around the
that.
middle, but send it.
Yes, I did. Smoke, you can talk here. Band welcomes people.
I don't like to talk when people are streaming, right? I like to let them have their thing going.
No, I like it when other people add commentary though. Although you can't really watch, so.
You could join the room, Smoke. We'll put you as a spectator. Since you're one of the developers, you get perks like that.
What's the pass?
7565.
Okay. Well, now you might get people joining. RVG is going factories yet again, doing the same thing they did the first round, which was quite successful against MM's strat that round. See if they can't use it just as effectively against them. If they can cinch this victory, then this game is over and they successfully attacked. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend got into a fairly ballsy position, overextending a little, but the T-22 with its crazy armor manages to bounce and get missed. Looks like MM is going to try and take control over the middle hill yet again. Steel Hunter getting a nice cross shot into the E5 while Papusa Man misses his rocket, something he is fairly well known for. RVG not doing anything special, just holding on their spawn side of factory with their T-22 trying to get spots. Cole was doing a good job of keeping the middle tanks spotted while not bleeding too hard from the IS-4s that have cross shots on him. Looks like Rith is having some of his tanks start to rotate around to try and push Ramen and Zyko, trying to regain control of the middle hill. If they can isolate these tanks, that will put MM at a severe disadvantage yet again, and it could possibly win them the game. Ramen popped his defensive booster, managing to reduce some of the damage he is taking, especially that 79 damage HE. MM is focusing up on the hill, opposite of RVG. RVG is starting to push in. Babusa Man missing another rocket would have been very important to bleed Cole extra. Rith and Beastly starting to push in just to find out that there are a lot more tanks than they realized holding the middle arch. Cole taking a bleed from Babusa, finally hitting his rocket. Zyko is going wide to try and get some sniper shots in, while the IS-4s are focused on the E5 and double IS-4 holding mid. I just heard a max roll go in, most likely on Kaminsky. That's very unfortunate for him. Nico putting another really ballsy push in, losing 1500 HP. They do manage to take out Kaminsky, but Nico is now set to 17 HP. I don't think that was really worth it. Babusa Man is now above, trying to line up a rocket shot into somebody. Zyko is now getting pushed by the Vickers and T-22, forcing him to run. MM losing their sniping tank from the side. Bubba does get up onto the middle without taking a whole lot of damage. He's doing a rather ballsy push down to try and bleed Rith out extra. He is now extremely exposed and very vulnerable to the E5s and IS-4s. He does manage to get back without bleeding too terribly, and when I mean too terribly, not losing all of his hit points. He's barely getting out of there alive. Same with Papusa. Papusa lost all of his HP, and Swifty is sitting in his E3 in the back, not really able to get shots into anyone. Maybe he can get some shots into these IS-4s under the arch. MM is down by 1,000 hit points. It's still very winnable, but they do have to be very careful now not to bleed too heavily, otherwise RVG will be able to just push in with limited consequences. The Vickers Light is on 3 HP, which is very dangerous for RVG, but they are holding him way in the back, so he can't really spot. But as long as he stays alive, they manage to hold one extra gun over MM. Nice shot from Swifty into the T-22, making him push back. Looks like their RVG's E3 is starting to apply some pressure to the guys of MM that are capping. Bubba does have to back up as Rith also starts to push in. RVG appears to be trying to push more heavily. Most of MM's tanks getting put down to 1 or 2 shots. It is not... Oh! No, MM is starting to bleed very heavily. It is not looking so good for them. They are most likely about to lose this battle. Let's see if they can manage to pull it out. It is not looking good for Swifty, though, as the T-22, he tracks Swifty instead of doing damage. Just rather unfortunate for the T-22. Swifty does have pop his speed boost, aiding in his ability to turn around enough to put another shot into the T-22, maybe. No, and he gets taken out, leaving Steel to die on his own on the other side of the map. RVG played very well and managed to cinch the victory in only 3 battles. Psycho, with only 220 HP, is doing his best to see if he can't bleed them anymore, because RVG is rather low and it is possible for him to win, although rather unlikely as RVG isn't that bad at aiming. Not exactly sure what Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is doing here, pushing into the bottom just to keep the proxy spot on Zyko. They only have 40 seconds left, though. If Zyko can stay alive for 38 more seconds, it might result in a tie, although I am pretty sure Encounter Cap will give them No, it won't. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I don't play Encounter enough. If Zygo can manage to stay alive for this next 30 seconds, it will be a tie. And are there any tiebreaker things, Shoto? And it looks like Zygo is being rather
No, there's
ballsy. He has to stay up. It looks like, yeah, RVG would have won anyways on cap. That double cap would have barely allowed them to win, forcing Zygo to make a move, and he lost to the T-22.
Alright, that's it for that one.
Yes, we have another one in 9 minutes.
Ah, yes, the next one. At 9:30, it's gonna be Moonman versus GMA. It's gonna be using this room, so kick all the RVG out and reset the score. Zilla. Smoke, go ahead and join the room.
MM guys are leaving. I don't think they realize they need to stay in this.
Yeah, just change the name. They'll be back.
I am going to go play a pub
is...
natural fast.
Okay. I'll just talk to Zella. Zella, the next one is going to be MM as the Sith Empire. They're the defenders. It's a military base. It'll be a land battle, so it's supremacy. The map is Middleburg. And they're going against GMA, which is the Zon Consortium. And there you go. Let me know when it's all set up. Let me go ahead and change the password to something else.
That you don't say this early in the stream. If you need to say it, just tell me and I'll mute it for a second.
Nah, he can just message me on Discord.
God, my ping. Holy shit, my ping.
Enemy armor is damaged. Our gas tank is hit. Critical
Alright,
hit.
my ping is painful right now. Though I'm not sure how Leo PTA just bounced me on 5120.
Alright. I went ahead and pinged them that their room is up. It should be. Yeah. There you go.
Enemy is hit.
Hey, Shoto, are we still waiting on confirmed time for that last match of the
No.
night?
No, they figured out.
rival family member on my team.
Interesting.
They're out in full force tonight.
So,
Peace God. Find us another target. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Is the password the same? Player limit reached.
player limit reached.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be possible. Well, yeah. Kick one of the Moonmen people out. Okay, now try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Moonman picks the spawn.
Now this is for however you pronounce that. This is a defensive battle. GMA is attacking. So
Yes.
this direction.
Zella, go ahead and kick out either Poopsa or Nikog. One of them. And Mothra.
No, you can, yeah, kick Mothra. Nico's too nice to kick.
I know. He's such a stellar dude.
Alrighty. So are there any special purchases active this round?
Moonman does have a military base, which means GMA has to win 3 battles, and Moonman only needs to win 2. We've been in this boat quite a few times.
GMA needs to ready up and before they start stream sniping what the other team is playing.
Can you set like a 10-minute delay?
No. Or, I mean, yeah, probably. But if they start soon, then it won't matter. We're just getting close to... Unfortunately, I can't just pause it where it's at either. That would be nice.
Well,
They're just now making strats. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Zella, put band in the middle.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Everyone's... Or do it, yeah, do it quick. So they can change their...
And make them unable to see. Unable to spectate both sides. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a lot of mouse.
As soon as Canadian readies up, you can throw me in.
All right. That is a lot of thick tanks.
Yes, it is. It is a very heavy-sided map, honestly. Yes, as predicted. Oh, actually, so as predicted, MM is doing pretty heavy town side, but I wasn't expecting this. GMA is sending a majority of their heavies to C, leaving double mouse to cap and hold A. Ooh, nice reset on A as well from MM's heavy side. Zyko being forced to pull a much more passive position, so he does not get pushed. It does look like the IS-4s are starting to rotate back around, and MM is not capitalizing on a push. They are holding at this point in time, and they are about to lose cap advantage as they do. GMA does get C cap. Zyko still by himself, trying to get shots in the Sheridan, not realizing there are two IS-4s as well. Spotting one IS-4, Zyko realizes he probably should get out of there. On the other side, GMA is very passively holding, forcing MM to really, really push in to get A. They have to be careful of the shots that can come from these IS-4s and E-100s, all of which can reset the cap from most angles. IS-4 can shoot steel while these Mouses all have shots on A. Very good position to hold the cap. Does look like they are using their mouse to allow anti to cap from behind. Can't touch this. Very smart move. GMA is very spread out at this point in time, but still able to concentrate fire if MM does try to put a heavy push out of town. Zyko's still by himself. As Arctic starts to push in, Zyko will be able to reset Arctic on B and bleed him if he decides to do that. Looks like he's going for the Sheridan. Zyko bleeding heavily all by himself. He does get tracked by the Sheridan instead of Ben. GMA is starting to push on the A side. Bleeding steel pretty heavily. Thankfully for him, he does only lose 2/3 of his HP. It's not looking good for MM at this point. They are fairly surrounded. Zyko is doing a pretty good job of bleeding the IS-4 and Sheridan, and almost manages to get away while Ramen and Anti finish off that IS-4. Hit points are almost even.
Pretty
MM
close.
slightly behind. Swifty is now 1v1ing. Never mind, he's not 1v1ing. He's going for the nice shot on Canadian Impact, who is a former MM member. Bubba goes in, leaving Canadian very low. Anti and Ramen struggling a little bit with Arctic and the Sheridan, who doesn't have a name at the moment. Ramen might be able to get the finish on Arctic. He does get a nice quick HE, giving MM the slight HP advantage now. Sheridan is by himself against 2, while Can't Touch This is on a sliver of HP, going down, leaving Swifty and Bubba to fight an IS-4 and Mouse by themselves. Swifty does have a significant amount of HP, but Cap is about to make GMA win this match. Bubba just dying. GMA does get the win on Cap. They had Cap much longer than MM, and MM really struggled to get the Caps back. Well played by
Pretty good
both
game.
teams overall. Unfortunate for MM, they did not get the double Cap back in their favor, as they had an IS-4 keeping the Cap from going up the entire round. It is now at a point where both teams have to win 2 more to win the game. As a reminder, MM has the military base, which forces GMA to have to win 3 games versus MM's only having to win 2 more.
That is correct.
Looks like strats are being revised at this point in time as everyone takes a year to ready up.
Is it a grill?
currently very interesting lineup from MM. I wonder if Bubba will stay in that tank. That's a tank Emil would love to play.
Now that's a pincer strat. Man, are they gonna ready up or what?
I do not know. Yes, alright, that is a very pincer strat currently from... Ah, no, they were just doing it just in case people wanted to stream snipe. Smart, smart, smart. Last minute switcheroo.
Man, this reminds me of tournaments of old. Back when you could actually see the lineup of the other team.
Time to roll out.
GMA doing a very similar strat, sending, looks like most of their tanks up high, having E3 supporting in the back corner while the IS-4 caps B quickly. MM is doing something slightly different. They're not as town heavy, having the double IS-4 to get the cap while sending its double 62A and an IS-4 up to C. It'll be an interesting matchup. MM has much more DPM than GMA up top, but they do have the Sheridan who can rain down the rockets without exposing itself. MM pulling back from town, getting a very defensive position with Swifty in the ditch, Mouse holding, and Bubba and Anti supporting. Ramen trying to get spots through. That was a rather cheeky rocket. Where did that even pen? Ooh, through the top plate of steel. That is very, very lucky for that Sheridan. Double 62As are running, leaving Steel by himself, which is... no, they were just falling back. That makes a lot more sense. I was wondering why they would want to do that. Sheridan hitting a very nice rocket into Steel, bleeding him even more, putting him down 1,000 hit points. At this point, GMA does have huge number advantage up top, and they are now starting to use it and pushing into C. Hopefully, MM will see that there's a bunch more tanks up top and decide to push for B, which is largely undefended, with Canadian Impact being the only one remotely near B anymore. Pickle, more help under C. Caps are still fairly even, as MM does bleed a little harder, already down 2,000 hit points from GMA. That Sheridan really putting in work by being able to bleed without exposing itself. Zyko taking a decent hit from Pickle as MM decides to finally push for B, trying to take that cap advantage while Canadian Impact holds, trying to prevent a push. Fortunately for him, he's pretty much by himself. He does get a very nice high roll in the Swifty. Can't Touch This is now pushing in towards Pickle, missing his shot while the 4MM players are about to rush Canadian Impact, most likely going to put him out of the match. Can't Touch This trying to slow down Pickle while GMA does a full-blown rush. It's not looking good for MM yet again. They are down significantly on hit points, 5,000 hit points to be exact. Pickle's still somehow alive. Looks like MM is struggling to finish him off, while support does start to flood in. Can't Touch This coming out from behind the church, getting as much of a flank as a mouse can get into GMA. MM trying to take out as many tanks as they possibly can, while Ramen does a nice little juke on Edgy. Anti missing a shot, Ramen trying to circle and putting a shot into Edgy. Sheridan trying to get the ram kill on Ramen. Assassin managing to take him out. It is now a 4v2. Anti and Can't Touch This are not going to be able to win this. They are severely outnumbered. Anti getting circled by 2, and GMA did manage to get all 3 caps, so they won on cap before they could finish that off. MM now has to win 2 in a row, while GMA only has to win 1 more to win this.
Yep.
And it looks like I'm going to need a 10-minute delay next stream because people like to take too long to ready up.
Yeah. That would be preferred.
Can't imagine what would take this long at this point to ready up. It's almost like they're waiting for MM to ready up. Honestly surprised Anti's playing. So let's re-roll too. I'm getting a little irritated with GMA right now.
Alright, go.
Finally. Interesting choice of double 50 Bs from GMA. That's not Canadian's name.